Hi guys, how's it going? How's it going? I hope everyone's good. I'm tired and it's only Wednesday. What can you do? Helen says hi. Hi Helen, how you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you're good. The dog is posting the slot emotes that I created. I've created a few. There's Slot, Van Dyke. There's this McAllister one here as well. Which is pretty good. But yeah, hope you're doing good. The dog. Harry says hello again. Hello, Harry. How you doing? Hope you enjoyed the game earlier. It's a pretty good game that Claire Obscura or something. RPG kind of RPG game, turn-based RPG. But yeah, it's pretty good. Hope you're doing good. After rushing off the line as a goalkeeper. But it's only a pulled muscle, so we should be good. That's always good to hear. Jimmy Diaz says Mallorca. Is it Mallorca or Mallorca? It's probably Mallorca, right? Mallorca are 9th in La Liga. Real Madrid are winning this 3-0. Wouldn't surprise me, looking at the lineups. Madrid have got Courtois, Valverde playing right back until a certain rat appears there next year. But for now, Valverde right back, Ramon, Asensio and Garcia at the back. And then Güler, Modric, Ceballos, Bellingham in midfield. So according to this lineup thing, Bellingham's going to be on the left. So that'll be interesting. Endrick and Mbappe up top. Mallorca going with a 5-3-2. Not a surprise. Kind of away from home against Real Madrid. Roman, and again, I barely know any of these Mallorca players, to be honest. Roman, Morey, Valgent, Rayo, Copet, and Tony Lato at the back. Samu Costa, Sanchez, and Dada in midfield. Larin and Mureki up front. If that means anything to anyone. Hi Bagwell, hope you're good. Hope you are doing well. So I think this match is going to start in about 5 minutes. They're just getting all their adverts in at the start. Which, to be fair, I do that as well, so can't really complain. Indigo Piranha says thoughts on the Florian Wirtz news. Yeah, interesting. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. No chance that happens. Florian Wirtz is kind of outside of our price range. He's probably gonna go kind of 100 million plus, that kind of thing. So when I kind of first saw the news, I was like, yeah, impossible. But now I've kind of thought about it. I'm like, it might happen. But I'm still we could say I was 0% sure before, and now I'm maybe 20% sure. I mean, he's very young. He's 22. He's the right age profile. We will have money to spend this summer. And we are the type of club to spend it on a 22-year-old rather than a 32-year-old. So I mean, it could happen. I'm still waiting for the. Yeah, Liverpool were interested, but he decided to go to Bayern Munich instead. Kind of news story. But yeah, I'm more excited now than I was when the news first came out. When the news first came out, I was like, yeah, that's just nonsense. That's not going to happen. And then when I thought about it, when I looked at the facts, I said, you know what, maybe. But the maybe isn't like a 50% yes, 50% no. It's a maybe that's like a 20% yes and an 80% no. Durwood's in the house saying, let's go Mallorca. Let's go Mallorca indeed. We are all Mallorcan today. Is that the noun? If you're from Mallorca, are you Mallorcan? I don't know. But yeah. Definitely hoping for a Mallorca win today. It's gonna be tough for them. They are away from home, but any misery that they can inflict on this team will be fantastic. The latest news now is as I'm sure everyone's kind of heard, they wanted Trent early, which is fine, which is not fine, but which is something. And of course, if you want someone early, you're going to have to pay for it. So the rumors up to today were that Real Madrid want Trent early, and they're going to pay £1 million to get him early. But apparently, the news that came out today is they don't even want to pay anything. They want us just to give him out of the goodness of our hearts. So it's for reasons like that we are supporting Mallorca today. And Durwood also says, hello friends, indeed. Hello to everyone. This should be an interesting game, either way. Mallorca are going 5-3-2, so they are going to pack the defence. Probably try and play on the counter-attack. In terms of standouts, Mbappe starting. Bellingham starting. That's about it, really. No one else really jumps out. There's Hendrik, but he's still in his first season. I perhaps won't jump to any conclusions immediately on that guy, even though he tried to injure Konate. Valverde playing right back. Modric still playing somehow. It's quite impressive, really. Carlo Ancelotti in the cloud, looking very somber. Fish saying mac and cheese backwards. Normally the first thing you say, Fish, is hi. Normally you say hi, and then you come out with the cryptic riddles afterwards. But you're just going straight into the riddles today. But I hope you're doing well, Fish. I do appreciate the silly things that you say. Durwood says a lot of young ones playing. Indeed. Hendrik is wearing number 16, and I don't think he's much older than the number he's wearing. Arda Güler. I think Arda Güler is about 20. He looks about 12. Well, I think he's early 20s. Arda Güler is a Turkish player. Yeah, he is 20. He's literally 20, yeah. So they're about to kick off. And when I say about to kick off, I mean they've already kicked off. Let's get this timer going. Again, like I always say, the annoying thing is they don't show the timer until you're like 25 seconds in. I've pretty much got it bang on. What's that, Koi? Is it come on you? But there's no team that begins with I. Mbappe with a shot. Yeah, Mallorca defending very deep, but it's probably a smart thing. Ball goes out. I think the league's pretty much won for Barcelona. They're 6 points ahead with a game in hand. I just need to update this timer for a second. Fantastic. Fish says, hi, I'm actually going to mac and cheese. Do you mean you're going to make mac and cheese? You're going to cook mac and cheese? Or are you physically going to walk up to a mac and cheese? Mac and cheese apparently has a lot of ingredients in it. Like it's not a simple recipe. It's not. Oh, it is relatively simple, but it's perhaps not as simple as it looks. Yeah, you're gonna need breadcrumbs, flour, butter, milk, mozzarella, cheese, garlic, onion, and mustard. Ooh, Endrick through here. Endrick's probably gonna score. He's not gonna score because he's rubbish. Yeah, Endrick needs to do a bit better there. Durwood says, if Madrid lose today, Barcelona wins. Wins the league. Fantastic. So we've got two reasons to support Mallorca today. Madrid don't even look like all that. I appreciate they're going through a transition. They're going to get a new manager and so forth. So motivation perhaps isn't what it has been in the past, but they just get hyped up to be this big monolith and this big scary monster. And then you look at them and you be like, really? These guys? Really? These guys? Boris says, Ronaldo Jr. is my daughter. That's good to know. Are you the father of Ronaldo Jr. or are you the mother of Ronaldo Jr.? It'd be good to know that. Endrick through again. Passes it to Garcia. Mbappe on the left. He's probably going to shoot. Oh, he doesn't shoot. He passes it to Valverde. Valverde, thankfully, with an awful cross. Fish asks, who is better, Isabella Afro or Tung 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 Sahur? I'll go with Isabella Afro because it's easier. It's easier to say. And I support Rakau Chestachoa. So do I. I actually support them as well. I've just never mentioned it before, but they're one of my favorite teams. Fish is champion of Champions League. You're saying goldfish, but I'm not 100% sure there's been a goal. Not that I don't believe you. Jaden Sachdev says, "Wirtz to Liverpool. What do you think?" Yeah, I was talking about that. Earlier, Jaden. You know when the news first came out, I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. That sounds like nonsense. Like, we don't shop in that market. That's too expensive a market for us. And then I thought about it, and I went, you know what? He's the right age profile. He's 22. He's very young. And we will have money to spend this year. So if it happens, I'd absolutely love it. I'm just not 100% sure it will. You know what I mean? But what I will say is, early when the news first came out, I said, you know what? It's got 0% chance of happening. It's not gonna happen. But now I'm like, maybe it's got 20% chance of happening. I saw that David Ornstein has tweeted about it. All the big guns have tweeted about it. So now I'm like, you know what? Maybe. I'm a bit excited, but like I don't want to get too excited in case it doesn't happen, kind of thing. A Fish says, I support Gornik Zabzere. I support them as well, but only on Thursdays. So it's not Thursday today, so I don't support them. Boris says, and I'm the league. You're the League of the Champions League. Okay, so then who's the champion? Jaden says, you going to the parade, mate? I am. Yeah, hopefully should do. It's on the bank holiday Monday, isn't it? The 25th. But yeah, it should be good. It's gonna be absolutely rammed. But I guess that's the point. I guess that's the point. But yeah, it's a day off. It's a day off. Might as well go. Is it confirmed? But yeah, if it's confirmed for happening on that 25th, then yeah, I guess I better. Tackle by Bellingham. Bellingham's getting back. Bellingham's doing a bit of defending. You're gonna have to do a lot of defending next year, Jude. When your mate's there, get used to the defending because you'll be covering a certain Mr. Arnold next year. Boeing says, Fish, are you Polish? And the answer to that is yes. I know that Fish is Polish. Fish is Polish, and Poland's clock is 1 hour ahead of ours. So Fish is teaching me things. Jaden says, wouldn't you rather Isak over Wirtz? Yeah, I would rather. Yeah, I would. I think we need a clinical striker more than a number 10. I think Szoboszlai's fine. That's not an insult. Or at least I hope it doesn't come across as an insult. But I think Szoboszlai's fine. But I think we're in desperate need of a central striker. I think a lot of our success this year has been down to Salah having a generational season, and he's probably not going to have a generational season next year. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we need more goals up front. So I'd rather Isak, or I'd rather some sort of amazing striker. But I mean, if we can get both, that would be amazing. But I don't think we spend that kind of money. But yeah, right now I'm just in the getting kind of excited, but trying not to get too kind of into it, because I feel like we might be getting let down. Durwood says, if it happens, awesome. But if it doesn't happen, oh well. He can stand back like all the other ones and watch us win. True. He can join his mate Martin Zubimendi, who didn't want to join and now had to watch us win the league. Yeah, I'm of a similar mindset. If it happens, I'm super excited. If it doesn't happen, hopefully I won't be too disappointed. Jaden says, I want Liao to replace Diaz, mate, and Isak to be that number 9. Frimpong to sign as well, and Kerkez. Yeah, so quite a few players there. Yeah, Frimpong, I was talking about it last time. Like, I'm so excited about Frimpong. I know some people are like not particularly excited, but like I'm so excited about Frimpong. The guy is absolutely rapid. Physically, he's amazing. Technically, he's very good. From a financial perspective, he's cheap, he's low wages, he's also homegrown. I don't know, sometimes you just get like a really good feeling about a player. So yeah, Frimpong, and yeah, Kerkez down the left. Pretty much everything that we said for Frimpong, I think also applies to Kerkez. So if you get one of them down the right and the other down the left, we would be absolutely amazing, I think. Yeah. Liao, I wouldn't mind. Like I haven't seen too much of Liao kind of lately, but Liao I wouldn't mind. Oh my God, they've bloody scored! Mallorca have scored. How have Mallorca scored? Dawood is saying yes. We're supporting Mallorca, so Madrid don't win the league. Fish is saying there might be an offside chance, so we'll have to see that. But yeah, we would be unstoppable, I think, because I think with Frimpong we'd sort out the right hand side, with Kerkez we'd sort out the left hand side. I think the existing options we have are fine for backups for those two positions. So Bradley can back up the right hand side, perhaps Robertson can back up the left hand side. Isak I'd love. I think what I'd perhaps add to that is perhaps a defensive midfielder. I really like Gravenberch. Gravenberch is one of my favourite players, but I don't want his little legs playing. 60 games again next season, because that guy's gonna burn out by the time he's 26. So yeah, I'd perhaps add a defensive midfielder to that, but yeah, it's positive. It's positive. It's looking good. It's looking good. Fish says my nose is bleeding. But you know, if your nose bleeds underwater, how do you know it's bleeding? I get. Do fish even have noses? I don't think you have a nose. Goal stands, fantastic. So I can update this score. 1-0 up. Fantastic. Mallorca have absolutely every player behind the ball now. Mbappe to Bellingham. Like, I appreciate that Carlo Ancelotti is a tactical genius and he knows far more than I ever would. But Bellingham on the left, it just looks weird. It looks like Darwin Núñez on the left. It just doesn't look right. Bellingham in the middle, sure. Oh, Mbappe's making far too much progress there, but defended. Oh, that's Asensio's playing. Well, he won't be playing for much longer, given the news that came out today. That was a nice goal, to be fair. They're just replaying the goal now. Yeah, I mean, Real Madrid they just look a tad disjointed. Enjoy this next year, Trent. I posted my mini Trent rant on YouTube. I got a lot of support. I got some angry people in the comments. So you need to get him go. You need to let him go. He doesn't owe you anything. And yeah, I was putting them back in their place. Fish says, "Watch Chuchington. Is that a movie of some sort, or is that a TV show?" I still haven't watched that TikTok thing that you told me to watch. Durwood asks, what did I miss with Asensio? He's been sharing some illicit photographs that he should not have been. And from what I saw, this news just broke about an hour before this game. He's been sharing some illicit photos he shouldn't have, and the judge has basically turned it into a criminal trial. I'm not 100% sure what the ultimate impact of that is, but a lot of people were saying jail time. I don't know if that's accurate or if just people being sensationalist in the comments. Endrick with a terrible cross there. But yeah, a lot of people were saying jail time, but I'm not too familiar with how Spanish law works. So if Asensio does go to jail, then they'll need another defender. I don't know if that would change their stance on Konate and Huijsen, and they seem to be linked with every possible defender, every possible player at this moment. Modric dummies it and he lets it go straight to the Mallorca player. Since I don't know who any of these players are, by the way, it's just going to be the Mallorca player or the Mallorca, the Mallorca striker. I need to learn at least one of them. So the strikers are Muriqi and Larin. So Muriqi is number 7. Is this one Muriqi? No, that's Larin. So Larin's the one with the short hair. Muriqi's the one with the ponytail. Okay. Fish says, what is my brother playing? Your brother's not playing, Fish. Your brother's making mac and cheese. Oh, wow, indeed. Yeah, it's a bit of a shocking story. Bellingham through. Don't do anything. Oh, nice save. Nice save by Mallorca there. Not by Mallorca, by Roman. Roman is the keeper. Bellingham should really do a bit better there, if I'm honest. I don't understand why these guys, and really anyone in professional sports, would do things like that to ruin their career. Yeah, it's a bit bizarre. It's like you literally have everything by being a professional sports player. You've got health, you've got money, you've got finances, you do what you enjoy. I mean, I don't know what the percentages are, but I'd hazard a guess that most people don't do a job that they enjoy. You're adored by kind of millions of people. I mean, to throw that all away is insanity. But yeah, I'd need to look into it more. Carlos Vela says Guten Tag. I don't know if this is actually Fish or if this is somebody else. Because Fish always talks about Carlos Vela. So whenever somebody pops up on YouTube which relates to something Fish has said, I always think it's Fish. We got Ryan here. How you doing? He says, that's the problem with everything. It gets boring for them. No thrill. Not trying to reason with it. Just saying, yeah, I hear you. And I think that's also why, like, a lot of pop stars perhaps turn to kind of like drugs and narcotics and things. And we can perhaps take Liam Payne as an example. You know, the one from One Direction that died of an overdose. And to be fair, lots of pop stars die of overdoses. But I think you're right, and I've said the same thing before. Like, if you've got all the money, and you've got thousands of people throwing themselves at you, you've got millions of fans, you do what you enjoy. Eventually, it does get a bit stale. I mean, I presume it does. It does get a bit stale. So then you look for thrills elsewhere. You look for thrills in things that are not legal. So yeah, it's probably a level of that in it, I guess. Thankfully, it's not everyone. But it does seem to happen with a lot of kind of pop stars, Liam Payne and so forth, Amy Winehouse. But yeah, we're starting to see it with sports personalities as well now. David Coote, those David Coote videos were horrendous. I'm not even like too fussed about what he was saying about Klopp, but it's like, dude, why are you doing illegal activities on a video and telling somebody, yeah, don't show that? It's just insane. The Coote thing, I just find so weird. Carlos Vela says, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite team? What's your favorite country? What's your favorite superhero? My favorite color is black. Favorite team is Liverpool. What's your favorite country? I'd perhaps have to select the country that I live in, which is England. But if you're saying what's my favorite country that I visited, possibly possibly US when I went to New York a few months ago. I thought that was really good. So maybe US first and maybe Spain second. I went to Barcelona. That was really nice. What's your favorite superhero? Superman. Yeah, easy. I'm definitely more of a Superman than a Batman type of guy. That's a good point as well that Ryan's mentioned. When you give kids millions, they're gonna act in a certain way. And I think in some ways, like a lighter version of that is the problem at Man United. They give players like Jadon Sancho 350 grand a week, and then, I mean, of course he's going to act like a knob. You know what I mean? Whereas at Liverpool, you know, you come in on low wages, comparatively speaking, and you're not allowed to drive a fast car into training. Like, you have to drive like a relatively modest car into training. So I think Liverpool also instill good values from a younger age. Whereas at Man United, they sign like 18-year-olds. And then give them 325 grand a week. And then they turn around and say, why is Jadon Sancho not performing? What incentive does he have to perform? You know what I mean? Like, he's gone from having pretty much no money to suddenly having £1 million a month. Like, what do they expect? It is interesting. I'm not sure if necessarily imposing a wage cap would be the most sensible way to handle it, but I like the way Liverpool handle it. They have like internal rules where wages are rewarded based on performance, and I really like the thing about the cars. So if you're under a certain age, you can't drive an expensive car into training. You've got to turn up in a modest car. That at least seems to set them up better for life. Boeing Boris says, too many giants in Real Madrid. They think they can do anything, but not true. True, it is. They are particularly egotistical, should we say. And you could definitely make the argument that Trent would be another giant. And perhaps if you have a team full of giants, it doesn't necessarily work, because sometimes you need somebody to do the hard graft. You need somebody to get their hands dirty, and that you perhaps don't have that if you've got 11 prima donnas on the pitch. So yeah, I think you're onto something there. For example, Yamal, 1.3 million a year. He's 17. That's probably is that it? Is that all he gets? 1.3 million a year. I mean, if that's all he gets, then that perhaps makes sense. I do think for younger players, the way Liverpool do it is a lot better. Low wages when you start, no flashy cars, no flashy watches. You can earn that status, but it instills a level of humility, which I think sets them up well for life. Got Red Rebellion in the chat saying, how is the Wirtz news? Obviously Bayern are favourites, but we are in the mix. Yeah, I was speaking about this one a bit earlier. When the news first came out, I think it was today. When I first saw it, I said, yeah, that's not gonna happen. We ain't gonna get Wirtz. We don't shop in that kind of market. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Wirtz is 22. And he's just turned 22. That's something that would appeal to us a lot. He's probably not on ridiculous wages, being at Bayer Leverkusen. So he's not at a traditional Champions League club, even though they won the league last year. So he's probably on quite modest wages. So the only kind of significant outlay would be the initial transfer fee. And I think we'll recoup a lot of money through sales this year. So we will have money available. So when I first saw the news, I said, nah, utter nonsense. But then I thought about it and I said, you know what? It might happen. So I've gone from 0% chance to about 20% chance. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, maybe. But I'm trying not to get too attached in case it doesn't happen, and then you know, and then we're unhappy for a few days. So I'm keeping my eye on it. If it happens, I'd be super happy. I think he's a quality player, technically very good dribbler, very good passer, very good shot. He's not the biggest, but he's still quite physical. So it's interesting how that works. Got a lot of caps for Germany at a young age. So yeah, I'm keeping one eye on it. But yeah, and again, it could be an opportunistic signing. Wirtz could be saying, you know what, Xabi Alonso's going, my manager's going, so I want to leave as well. So he might be available. But yeah, let's see what happens. I won't lie, I am semi excited, but only I'm not gonna let myself get fully excited, which I'd like to see is what everyone is doing. Ryan says it's hard not to have an ego playing for such a historical football club. You're right. That does make it a lot more difficult. But I'm hoping within the club internally they instill a certain set of values. They instill a certain way of doing things, which perhaps teaches a bit of humility. Because 20-year-olds are great, but a team full of 20-year-olds with an ego is a recipe for disaster. So throw in to Mallorca. I still can't believe Mallorca are up. As Durwood was saying earlier, if Mallorca win this, then Barcelona have won the league. Ooh, terrible first touch there by Bellingham. Not even terrible first touch. That's perhaps the most ludicrous, awful first touch I've ever seen. Simple pass and he failed to control it and it went out. Red Rebellion says, for sure, we shouldn't get carried away, but it feels like something big will happen. Yeah, and I think the additional piece of evidence that would back that up is it seems to be a lot of journalists saying it. So typically when it's just one random journalist, then we'll be like, yeah, whatever. That doesn't seem particularly likely to happen. It's probably just kind of made up. But with respect to the Florian Wirtz news, a lot of people are saying it. You got David Ornstein saying it. I think Fabrizio was saying it. The German guy, is it Christian Falk? Christian Falk was saying it. So there's no smoke without fire. I'm excited. I mean, when the news first came out at 5 o'clock, I was like, yeah, absolute nonsense. And then when the rumors started intensifying, then I started watching some videos. So I think if you've YouTubed a Florian Wirtz video today, then you must be semi-excited, which I have done. So I must be semi-excited as well. Just thinking about it again, the only kind of roadblock in many ways is the transfer fee, but an argument can be made is he's going to be on low wages probably. Okay, let me just Google it. What's Florian Wirtz's wages right now? Yeah, 86 grand a week in euros. So he's on 70 grand a week, £70,000 a week. So there might be a bit more smoke here than we thought. Players on 70 grand a week are our bread and butter. And we do spend big when it's basically a part exchange. So Coutinho was basically a part exchange for Alisson and Van Dijk. Durwood says, but weren't all the reporters like that with Caicedo? They were. I think the situation was slightly different with Caicedo. From what I recall, Caicedo was rumored to be going to Chelsea since January. So in January he said, yeah, he's going Chelsea. February, yes, he's going Chelsea. Wednesday, March, yes, he's going Chelsea. And then towards the end of the summer, that's when the Liverpool interest kind of arose. And by then, Caicedo was saying, look, I've already given my word to Chelsea. I can't break it. Whereas I think the difference with the Wirtz news is that there isn't like an existing club that has already done all the due diligence with him, if that makes sense. If I was to liken it to another transfer, I'd perhaps liken it to the Szoboszlai transfer last year. I remember when the Szoboszlai news came out, it was quite a few journalists and they were saying, yeah, they've identified, not last year, of course, 2 years ago, they've identified him, he fits the right profile. But Szoboszlai wasn't linked with anyone else, whereas Caicedo was linked with Chelsea heavily. And the fact that it's before the summer rather than at the end of the summer. I'm pretty sure the Caicedo stuff was at the end of the or right in the middle of the summer. I think the fact that it's before the summer as well is perhaps a positive. But yeah, I'm still only like 20% sure. Red Rebellion says, but we actually bid for Caicedo more than Chelsea initially. Yeah. So I think the Chelsea bid initially was about 90 million, I think, 95. And then I think we bid 105 or 110 or something. More than Chelsea initially did. So we would have signed him. If Chelsea walked away, yes, we would have. I think the difference with the Caicedo one is it seems like he had informally already kind of given his word to Chelsea, so he didn't want to kind of break that. And I think additionally, from what I recall, Chelsea had done a lot of the groundwork with him already, and then we just kind of swooped in at the. So Chelsea had like taken him out on dates. Chelsea had taken him out on holiday. Chelsea had bought him food. Chelsea had bought him a house. And then Chelsea proposed. But then we also proposed, but we just proposed randomly. You know what I mean? And Caicedo was like, look, these guys have been taking me out. So, I'm going to go with them. Yeah, that's it. Obviously, they worked longer on the deal. They'd built that relationship. They'd built those contacts. They'd done that due diligence. So, yeah, it was an odd time. But all good. We got Endo. And Endo's won a Premier League. What has Caicedo won? Other than a haircut. I can't think of anything. Endo's won a Premier League and Caicedo's former colleague McAllister has also. So, all's well that ends well. Naive Moreno said, Hola, me das un salad. I don't know what that means. I don't think it's profane, which is why I read it out. Said hi, hello, Naive Moreno. Leighton in the chat. I last time I was saying, Leighton, is your picture Michael Corleone? I had a look on my phone. It's actually Dexter. So it's Dexter, not Michael Corleone in the picture. It says, I think the worst deal, the Wirtz deal will go through. Man, you guys are getting me more excited now. You guys get me more excited. If this doesn't happen, I'm gonna blame all of you. But there are the more you look into it, to be fair, there is evidence to suggest that it could happen. He's a young player. He's 22. We just Google his wages now. He's on 70 grand a week. So Liverpool, I mean, that's the kind of ballpark that Liverpool buy players from. Maybe Liverpool double his wages, maybe they give him 150. I think the only real kind of stumbling block and concern is perhaps the initial fee. But when Liverpool have players to sell, i.e. Coutinho, they will then reinvest that money however they want, i.e. Alisson, i.e. Van Dijk. So this could in some ways be version 2 of that. If we sell a bunch of players like your Nunez's, like your Simicat's, and so forth, potentially Jota, if we sell a bunch of players, there will be money available. Red Rebellion says, we got all 4 of McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and Endo instead of Caicedo. Yeah. And I think that was a lot of the argument at the time, that we needed to completely rebuild the midfield. So we couldn't really spend all that money on one player. So McAllister was 35. Gravenberch was 38. So by my maths, that's 73. Plus Szoboszlai 60. 133 plus Endo 17. Yeah, it kind of rounds up to 150. Caicedo was 110, but for an extra 40, we rebuilt the midfield. So yeah, we did have a need to kind of rebuild the entire midfield, which we did. It seems to have worked out pretty well. We did the same with Lavia last minute, but to be honest, he's crocked or bullet dodged. Yeah, the Lavia one was a bit. From what I recall with Lavia, we were kind of haggling over the fee with Southampton. They wanted an extra 10 million. We wanted to give 10 million less. Like, I think we wanted to give 50 and they wanted 60. Or we wanted to give 45 and they wanted 55. It was something like that. Yeah, but Lavia's having some kind of serious fitness issues, which is a bit of a shame, because I think when he plays, he looks very good. Like, he looks quite impressive when he plays. But yeah, I guess you're only useful if you can play and you're not injured. But yeah, bullet dodge to a certain degree. But let's see. Hopefully he gets some fitness. Ooh, Arda Gula there just hits it over the bar. Leighton says, "What do you think about the booing of Trent?" For me, I think people can do what they want. Provided you're not breaking the law. You know what I mean? If people are sad, if people are disappointed, if people feel hurt, then I think provided you don't break the law, you should be able to exercise that. I have no problem with people booing. Me personally, I probably wouldn't boo, but equally I wouldn't be clapping. Like, I was like, why are you clapping him? I'd just be nonchalant about it. But I'm still very angry about the whole thing. I'm still very angry about the entire situation, about kind of how the entire thing kind of happened. So yeah, I've got no problem with people booing. They can boo if they want. Chelsea Till I Die says, good old Scouse accent. I mean, I guess if I did have a Scouse accent, I might end up at Madrid, so it's probably a good thing I don't. What's happening with Maresca, by the way? Apparently there's a news today that they're gonna give Maresca another season, but I don't think Maresca's done all that badly. Where are they in the table? They're fifth. I mean, fifth ain't that bad. Like, why was the news story today Chelsea are prepared to give Maresca another season. I mean, what's wrong with fifth? I find that wild. Hader says he shouldn't have played, to be honest. Yeah, he shouldn't have. Perhaps that was a bit of naivety. Perhaps that was a bit of naivety on kind of Slot's part. There's a conspiracy theory that Slot did it deliberately to teach him a lesson. I doubt that happened. But yeah, in hindsight, he shouldn't have played. Perhaps there was a level of delusion where he thought he was going to get clapped and he was going to get cheered. I know certainly with kind of celebrities and so forth, sometimes they kind of live in a bubble and they think, they're not really aware what goes on around them because all the information they get is sanitized and it all goes through media channels. So perhaps he thought he was going to get cheered. Because I don't think Slot would have just brought him on for jokes. I think they would have agreed that beforehand. Like Slot would have said, you know what, bro, I'm going to bring you on. Are you fine with that? And Trent would have said, yeah, I'm fine with it. So in hindsight, he shouldn't have been brought on. And I think for the last 2 games of the season, he's not going to be brought on. But it is what it is. It's happened now. I think they're probably gonna make up. They're probably going to make up some sort of thing to say he's injured and he can't play kind of thing. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see the divide. Me personally, I probably wouldn't have booed him if I was there, but I can't lie. I got a lot of pleasure out of watching. I was quite happy that people did. So what can you say? And my whole kind of reasoning for that is kind of leaving on a free. I think leaving on a free is despicable behavior. And some examples of that. If we look at McAllister, so McAllister signed a new contract with Brighton, so that Brighton would at least get some money when he left. Even Declan Rice signed a new contract with West Ham, so that West Ham would at least get some money before Declan Rice left. But Trent has built like his entire brand on being like a local boy. And the first time Liverpool needed something from him rather than Liverpool giving him something, that was his first test of, I feel like, of him giving back. Because it's always been the club defending him. It's always been fans defending him when people say that he can't defend. That was his first opportunity where he had to give back to the fans and he had to give back to the club. And he completely messed it up. But what can you do? Dawood says, Robertson said it best. You can't tell people how to react. Yeah. And I think he's correct. I agree with him. People can't help how they feel. You can't control you can't kind of control their feelings. You can't control your feelings. And I think reactions are a part of feelings. So you can't say to somebody, it's like if someone's depressed, you can't suddenly say to him, oh, just cheer up, kind of thing. Like it doesn't work. So I'm really glad kind of Robertson said that, and I'm really glad that's the line the kind of club is taking. I think it shows how far things have progressed, perhaps from a mental health perspective. I think maybe 5-10 years ago, we wouldn't have had that answer. We would not have had that answer. I think perhaps even if Jordan Henderson was still the captain, we probably wouldn't have had that answer. But it shows kind of how far things have progressed in a positive fashion. Red Rebellion says, we made an example of Trent, to be honest, nobody bigger than the club. Exactly. Sang the Gerrard song, sang there's only one Conor Bradley. I think he needed to hear that. I think he needed to hear that because I think with Trent and with football players and I think with celebrities in general, they do live in a bit of a bubble. They don't really know what's going on, Like even even like, their social media's moderated. They live in like an expensive house with no neighbors. They don't really, have an understanding of what people feel like. So I think he needed to hear that. I do think he's going to regret the move. I don't see him being a starter for Real Madrid, and I think he'll end up at probably Villa in a year or two. But I agree, nobody bigger than the club. And this is the thing. I mean, most people are Liverpool fans. They're not Trent fans. They're not Gerrard fans. Because if they were Gerrard fans, they would have supported LA Galaxy, and they would have supported Villa, where he managed, and would have supported Al Ettifaq. But people are fans of the club. Durwood says, just let 66 start packing and move quietly. Yeah. At this point, I think everyone's got it out of their system now. I think Trent's got it out of his system, doing that absolute nonsense video footage where he says, I am so sad to be leaving. I'm reading this off a screen. You know, that nonsense video. He's got it out of his system. Liverpool fans have got it out of their system. The media's got it out of their system. I think now he can go, and I think the team can just focus on the positive of kind of winning the league and rebuilding. And Hayder's mentioned it there as well. We better make some signings this summer with the emoji. Yeah, I think we will. I think we will. I think so. With respect to Liverpool now, we've got Michael Edwards as the CEO. We've got Julian Ward as the technical director. We've got Richard Hughes as the sporting director. I think they're going to want to put their own mark on the team. And I think they're going to want to build the team in their own image. So I think we will see a lot of departures this season. Darwin Núñez, bet your house that Darwin Núñez is going to go. Possibly Costa Tsimikas, possibly Jarrell Kwanzaa, possibly Endo, even though I don't want to say it. Possibly another striker from the forward line. And if you just add that up, that comes to like 200 million. So yeah, we'd like to kind of see that reinvested. There has been some rumours about Florian Wirtz today. Rumours about a striker, rumours about Kerkez, rumours about Frimpong. Frimpong will probably be the first one that comes in. But yeah, I think we will strengthen. I don't think we'll buy as many players next year. But I think this year, they've assessed the squad. They've seen what works. They've seen what doesn't work. And the evidence is plain to see. Because Slot doesn't seem to rotate much. So there's players he doesn't like. So I think those players that he doesn't like are going to be sold. And we should see some players that he does like come in. Fingers crossed. Leighton says, I got told the other day his mind was set a long time ago last season. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, let's go even further back. Let's go further back to 2021. So does anyone remember 2021? In 2021, Fabinho signed a 5-year contract. Jordan Henderson signed a 5-year contract. Andy Robertson signed a 6-year contract. Trent Alexander-Arnold signed a 4-year contract. It's like, why are you only signing for 4 years? What's that about? So I think he's been planning this for a while, I think. Because why else only sign a 4-year contract? Also, kind of. Oh shit! Yeah, stop the timer. My feed's a bit behind. I'm a bit behind. What has happened is my feed keeps pausing, so I'm actually on like 44, but I'll try and find a better feed later. But yeah, it seems like his mind. It seems like his mind's kind of been made up. The other thing is he's the vice captain, and I don't recall him doing a single post-match interview, which was weird. Additionally, if we cast our minds back to the start of the season, Salah kept saying, I want to stay. I love the city. I love the club. My daughter loves the school here. She's got friends. My family loves it here. That's Salah. Van Dijk is saying, I love the city. I love the club. I love the staff. I want to stay. So the two kind of, the Egyptian player and the Dutch player are like, I love it here, I want to stay. Whereas Trent never ever said that. And I think a lot of fans were perhaps thinking, you know what, maybe we're just imagining it, but we weren't imagining it. So yeah, I think his mind has been made up. But it is what it is. We move on now. We focus on the positive. I think if we get Frimpong, I think Frimpong will be a very good signing. And then no one will really care about Trent. It'll be a bit like the Coutinho, to a certain degree, where kind of Coutinho's at Barcelona now, and we're like, who cares? Leighton says, we will sign Frimpong and Wirtz and a striker. Frimpong definitely, Wirtz hopefully, a striker hopefully. And I think to that, we will sign probably Kerkez as well, because I think we need a left back. Mbappe's through here, because I'm a bit behind. And I'll try finding another place I can watch this that's a bit more up to date. But yeah, I'd like to see a left back to add to that, and a defensive midfielder as well. Gravenberch has only got little legs. I don't want to see those little legs playing another 60 games next season, because I don't want the boy. He's one of my he's not probably my favorite player, not even one of my favorite player, but I want to see some kind of good cover for him. A Red Rebellion says Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes have worked together in the past. Hughes did an incredible job at Bournemouth, so I think Edwards saw opportunities with Hughes. Yeah, apparently they have a prior relationship, like a prior working relationship, which is important. I think you need to get on with the people that you work with, because I think if you get on with the people that you work with, and I can say this, kind of working in teams that I work in, if you get on with people, you're more likely to kind of speak your mind and present ideas and bring ideas to the table without the fear of being jumped on for saying something stupid. Whereas I think if we had like a more autocratic, authoritarian type of structure with perhaps Todd Bowley or something, your sporting director is going to be scared to speak up, right? And when people don't speak up, you don't get good ideas. Most good ideas sound like silly ideas the first time you hear them. Like, I mean, the iPhone, for example. What? You want to bring out a phone with no keyboard on it? You insane? How are people going to type? Pretty much every good idea is a silly idea to begin with. So I think that's the importance of having good relationships with who you work with. Hughes did a very good job. Hughes did a very good job at Bournemouth. He's the one that signed Kerkez, so hopefully he's got those contacts and he can bring him back. Van Dijk and Mo handled it well, says Leighton. Yeah, I mean they pretty much played it perfectly, to be honest. Kept saying, we love the club, we love the club, we love the club, we love the city. My family loves the city. My family's settled here. You know, my daughter's got friends at the school. And I think that's what they did really well. They were just honest. Granted, that is a tactic to a certain degree to kind of force the club's hand to perhaps get a bit more money, but do what you got to do. At least you're saying you love it here. And even the stuff Van Dijk's come out with afterwards, where he said, you know what, there's no better place. There's no club like Liverpool. There's no place I'd rather be. So the fact he's saying that after he's got the money makes it feel even more genuine, because he doesn't need to say that now. Obviously, he wouldn't say, yeah, I was just lying for the money. But the fact that he is saying, there's no place I'd rather be, and he's saying that after he signed the contract, that comes across really well. Whereas Trent said nothing. Like, dude, Trent in many ways, it's like, mate, you couldn't have handled that any worse. And that's what the booing was. It was people letting them know how they felt. People made more deal about Liverpool fans booing than they did about Jamie Carragher spitting in someone's face. And a child's face. I always think the verbal is always less than the physical. Red Rebellion says that Bournemouth have one of the lowest incomes in the league, and Hughes built a great squad for them. Yeah, he did, and also got a great manager as well in Iraola. Perhaps that is why Hughes was targeted. I think the ability to kind of work with small budgets is something that FSG favour, and I think that's the strength of Richard Hughes, and I think that's also a strength of Arne Slot. Arne Slot never had a ton of money at Feyenoord. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing either. It has negative connotations associated with it. But I think if you can work with small budgets effectively, that's perhaps the most valuable skill you can have. I get it. People say Liverpool are cheap, they don't spend money. Like, I get it. I get the argument. But if you said to me, I'm going to give you one skill, I'd say give me the skill of working with smaller budgets, because that's a better skill than working with high budgets. Anyone can work with high budgets. Yeah, sign Vinicius. Great. I think my grandma could have told you that, and she died 20 years ago. So yeah, it is something they favour. Right, so I'm going to try and find the match that's more up to date. Because when Durwood mentioned to stop the time, I was like, I'm still on 40 minutes. But my timer was on 50 minutes because my thing keeps stopping. Set it back to 45. Okay, I found another one. Still 1-0, which is a positive. Durwood says, I've abandoned Twitch, too many commercials. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Good to have you on YouTube. Normally on Twitch, I try and kind of control when the commercials kind of pop up, but sometimes it just has a mind of its own. It just kind of does things when it feels like it. But yeah, if you prefer YouTube, then YouTube will be the choice. Red Rebellion says, I don't think it has anything to do with small budgets. We have the 4th highest wage bill in Europe. Player prices mean nothing when they flop. More about signing players who fit. Yeah, so players who fit the system, not a Grealish. Yeah, I think yes and no. I think if you have the skill of dealing with a small budget, you're then more likely to be effective at dealing with a medium budget. Or a high budget, you know what I mean? So like if dealing with a small budget is lifting 200 kilograms, whereas a high budget is 100 kilograms. So then if you can lift 200 kilograms, which is a small budget, then you can definitely do the high budget. That's the kind of way I think of it. We do have like a pretty high wage bill. Player prices do mean nothing when they flop. We need to get the right players for the system, which is what we do. Second half I just started. I'll just set the timer here. If I can figure that out. Fantastic. Real Madrid attacking right to left now. Player prices mean nothing when they flop. More about signing players who fit the system. Not a Grealish at 100 million, yeah, or a Sancho at 75 million, or an Anthony at 85 million, yeah. That's what I like. I like when Liverpool sign these random players that kind of no one's ever heard of, and then everyone's losing their mind saying, "Who the hell's this guy? This guy's rubbish. We wanted this guy," and then the player debuts and the player's absolutely amazing. That's what I'm more excited for. Like, I'm super excited for Frimpong. Don't get me wrong. But Frimpong is a known entity. I know who Frimpong is, and most people do. There will be players that we sign this year that nobody knows about, and in some ways, those are the ones I'm more excited about. It's like finding a treasure in some ways. Hader says, sitter. We'll probably get him. City, this is a Florian Wirtz, I take it. City were the team that were most linked with him up until now. They've had like decent links with Wirtz. There haven't been like any super strong links. But yeah, if you asked me yesterday, I'd be like, yeah, he's going City. Yeah, he's going City. Today got me like semi-excited that we might get him. I still don't think we will. If I had to place a guess on Florian Wirtz, I'd say probably Bayern Munich. Probably stay in Germany, German player. Every German player loves Bayern Munich, so probably go there. But yeah, let's see. I'm not letting myself get too excited. A Red Rebellion says, let's not forget, we broke the records with the Van Dijk and the Alisson fees. The big ones you have to get right, otherwise you end up with Nunes. You do, that's true. I think the slight caveat with the Van Dijk and Alisson fees was those were actually paid by selling Coutinho, if you know what I mean. There was actually an interview that came out yesterday with Ian Graham, who was... I think Ian Graham was the chief data scientist at Liverpool. He did an interview yesterday. He's done quite a few interviews now that he doesn't work at Liverpool anymore. But even in the interview yesterday, he was kind of saying that basically the sale of Coutinho allowed Liverpool to have the money to buy Alisson and to buy Van Dijk. And if it wasn't for that sale, never would have bought him. And even then, he was saying people at the top of FSG were quite concerned about Liverpool spending 75 million on a centre-back. But Ian Graham was saying that they've run through all the numbers, they've done all the analytics, and this Van Dijk guy, he's the best defender outside the Champions League teams, and he's the second best defender overall. He doesn't reveal who came out number one, but he said kind of given those metrics, they had to sign him. But yeah, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. But yeah, it was fascinating interview. He explains a bit how the process works and how the meetings happen and who's in the meetings. But yeah, Ian Graham, if you're ever bored, look on YouTube. He used to work at Liverpool. But yeah, the big ones you have to get right, otherwise you end up with Nunes. Yeah, and I think when we sign Nunes, I think during that time period we use the data less. Because I think that's when Michael Edwards left, and I think that's when Julian Ward left, and we were doing more kind of signings based on kind of instinct in the traditional way. I think what perhaps sealed the Nunes transfer was the fact that Nunes scored against us. So Nunes scored against us, and he looked very good against us. And it was that time period after Michael Edwards left where the team stopped relying on data and more started relying on kind of what Pep Linders thought would work. So I think that's how we kind of ended up with Nunes. And again, Ian Graham. Again, I don't know this guy, but I just find him quite fascinating. Ian Graham was saying that when the news came out about Nunes, the entire data team was shocked. They were like, this guy doesn't fit the team at all. Why are we buying him? So hopefully... now that we have Michael Edwards, who loves his data, Michael Edwards does his shopping in an Excel sheet. That's how much he loves data. hopefully now we'll be we'll be going back to doing the data type signings. And we should get the right player in. Not necessarily the big name, not necessarily the fancy name, but the right player. Which is why I'm more excited about this summer than any summer. And even if we didn't win the league, I'd still say this is the first summer where the nerds and the geeks have control again. So let's see what they cook. A Red Rebellion says that back then our revenue was not what it is now, so the Coutinho sale gave us a boost. Yeah, it did. What I will say about kind of FSG is whatever money we raise through sales, they don't mind us spending how we want. You know what I mean? It's like they'll be like, okay, you made that money, you can spend it how you want. So it does look like we're going to bring in at least 200 million, which can still buy a lot in the current market. 200 million, that's a lot of money. Hader said the Klopp made some terrible signings. Yeah, he's a very good coach, very good tactically, very good motivator, very good man manager, very good personality, very good tactician, very good at a lot of things, but I don't think player ID, as they say, it was perhaps his strong suit, and I think that probably leads to his strength. I think Klopp was perhaps a bit of a romantic. I think being a romantic, it perhaps endears you to the players you already have, but perhaps the downside of being a romantic is it makes you fall in love with these average players. I've never thought about that before, but that actually makes sense, right? I think Liverpool worked best when Klopp was purely the coach, and say Edwards and Ward were doing a lot of the data analysis to find the players. Of course, it is still a communal decision, so they still have to bring the player to Klopp. And fair play to Klopp, he took the data team suggestion on board, because I think Klopp still had the final say. But yeah, identifying players wasn't Klopp's strong suit. And I think a lot of football is going away from that, because traditionally back in the day, it'd be like, yeah, Sir Alex Ferguson says, I want Rooney, I want Wayne Rooney. Whereas now it's not really a manager looking and pointing anymore. Now it's kind of data and sporting directors and all of that. Red Rebellion says, and anyway, we can get more than double what we paid for the likes of Grav now. We can, but please don't sell Gravenberch. He's my favourite player. Yeah, we need to keep Ryan. And also, I've just bought his shirt. So if we sell Gravenberch, I will be invoicing you for the shirt. But I guess the point that you're making is his value has doubled. And maybe McAllister's value might have tripled, 35 million, maybe about 100 million now. Does not mean we should have paid more, and is why player prices mean nothing. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that's why these jobs exist, like sporting director, like data analyst, like data scientist. They're there to find value in the market. So yeah. There's value to be had. There was value to be had last year. There's value to be had this year. There's players out there. I know it's a bit simple to say it, but there will be players playing for, South American teams and, I don't know, Serbian teams who, in the right environment, could thrive. Red Rebellion says we paid like 15 million for Coutinho. I think it was less than that. I think it was like 8, I think it was like 8 million. But yeah, some tiny fee. 8 million. And then we sold him for 140. What's the so if we do 140 divided by 8, 17.5. We sold him for 17.5 times what we bought him for. It's crazy. And we turned him into one of the best number 10s at the time. Yeah. That season before he left and the half season before he left, he looked absolutely unstoppable. He'd just get the ball and just smack it in from 40 yards. And he had like a certain kind of swagger about him and a certain level of strength about him. Like I know he's only like 5'6", but he was very, very strong as well. It seemed hard for players to get the ball off him. But yeah, I do miss that time of having him in the squad. Yeah, Hayder said it. Yeah, that was it. 8.5 million. Yeah, I remember there was 8 in there, but yeah, crazy. I mean, even in his first few seasons with kind of Brendan Rodgers, I remember thinking that he looks fine. Remember he had like the curly, like perm type of hair. I remember thinking, you know what, it looks alright. Never would have imagined 140 million, but thank you, Barcelona. They, you can certainly make the argument that if we don't sell Coutinho, we don't win those trophies. Oh, that's a relief. I did. Red Rebellion says, yeah, I didn't say we should sell him. Yeah, I think the point, yeah, as you said, was more that you're more talking about how his value has appreciated, which is what we want to see. Fish is back with his top 10 hottest footballers list that changes every game. Number 1 is Barcelona. Who's Barcelona hottie? I can't think of any, but you've mentioned Lewandowski before on your top 10 hottest players list. Is that who you mean? Number 1 again is Thierry Henry. 2 is Odegaard. 3 is Ryan. Which Ryan? Ryan Gravenberch. I mean, he looks fine, but I didn't know he'd be on your top 10 hottest players list. 4 is Daily Blind. 5 is me, as in you. 6 is Pepe Reina. Well, there's a new entry for you. 7 is Silason. 8 is Mamadou, who's the guy that you made me Google last time, Mamadou Sale or something. 9 is, did you step on like a plug or something at number 9? And 10 is Lil Uzi Vert. Well, I appreciate your top 10 hottest players list as always. I would like to see a level of consistency because your top 10 list changes every week. And also, the first time you did this, I was on the list, but I've noticed that I'm not on the list anymore. So what's that about? I was like number 6 originally, but now you've put Pepperina in my place. What's that about? Derwood says, when I would buy baseball jerseys for my home team, the player would be traded with the next season. I'm careful of football now. Yeah, it's always one of those things that happens, doesn't it? You buy a jersey and then the player's traded. Or sometimes like you're looking at something on Amazon for ages and you don't buy it. And then you buy it. And then a week later, it's like, it's on sale and you're like, what the hell? It's annoying. It's proper annoying when stuff like that happens. But what can you do? Yeah, it's safer to perhaps buy somebody with no name, or the safest thing in the world to do is to get Kenny Dalglish on the back. But this is a retro jersey. I perhaps have an excuse. Hayder said, man said Lil Uzi. I don't know who Lil Uzi is. Is this like a rapper or something? I'm showing my age here. I'm Googling it. Lil Uzi Vert is an American rapper, singer, and songwriter. Well, I thought Fish was just making things up, but this is a real person. Especially as Hayder recognized this person. Okay, I got lots of questions for you now, Fish. Number 1, we've established that this is a real person thanks to Hayder. Because I was ready to say, yeah, he's Fish is just making stuff up. Number 2, how is this person on your top 10 list? He looks like a disease. Really? I mean, you do you, I guess, but whatever makes you happy, Fish. I've learned something. I've learned that's a real person. Red Rebellion says, lol, the women went mad about Patrick Berger. If anyone remembers him, I do remember him. Number 15 from Czech Republic. I can't remember the team we signed him from, but I used to know the team we signed him from. But yeah, he was quite tall, had a ponytail, played like number 10. In the game, we beat Chelsea 5-1. He scored 2 goals. The reason why I remember that is it's one. I think you might have asked this question before. What's the earliest game you remember? It was that game. Yeah, I remember Patrick Berger. He was one of my favorite players. They wanted to marry him. Yeah, Patrick Berger has actually aged quite gracefully, to be fair. And now Szoboszlai is the new hottie. Yeah, Szoboszlai's got that mantle now. Why are the number 10s always the hotties in the team? So if Patrick Berger was the hottie, he's a number 10. Szoboszlai's a hottie now. He's a number 10. So yeah, why is it a number 10? All the defensive midfielders must feel a bit left out. But then thinking about the defensive midfielders, Javier Mascherano, yeah, nah. Looks like it does look like a disease. If you look on the Wikipedia page for Lil Uzi Vert, yeah, definite disease. I'm sure he's a lovely person. Perhaps I'm being a bit judgmental. I'm being judgmental based on someone's appearance. I'm sure he's a fascinating human being. I'm sure he enjoys cooking. I'm sure he enjoys gardening. I'm sure he enjoys civilized hobbies like most of us. Berger was a great player, says Red Rebellion. He was. I was a bit disappointed when he left for Aston Villa. He's one of the earliest players like I remember us buying. So that's why he's kind of stuck in my head. I remember, was it CSKA something? I'm gonna Google it because it's some team with a C that we bought him from. No, was it Borussia Dortmund? I've not pressed enter yet, but I think it might have been Borussia Dortmund. But I'm gonna Google it. It was Borussia Dortmund, yeah. Nice. Well, I'm saying nice to myself, but yeah, he was good. We never really had kind of proper number 10s back then. It was more kind of 4-4-2, wasn't it? 2 sitters, left winger, right winger. So I think that made kind of Patrick Berger stand out a bit and made him feel a bit more exotic. So yeah, he was good. Left-footed as well, as far as I recall. Mallorca still winning this. Defending very, very deep, to be fair. Which I guess they gotta do. I guess they gotta do that. But they are getting opportunities. So Mallorca on the left. Again, I don't know who any of these players are, so I'm just saying Mallorca on the left. Valverde looks so awkward as a right back. But let's see what Arda Güler can do. Plays it back to Valverde. Plays it out to the left. To Garcia. Garcia to Bellingham. Bellingham is at least a bit more central now. Yeah, I don't know why Ancelotti is sticking Bellingham on the left. He just looks so awkward on the left. Corner to Real Madrid. Luka Modric, back from the dead for one game, will be taking this. Goes out to Mbappe. Mbappe again. Ooh, hits it over. Real Madrid look defeated. They've definitely got a bit of a what's the point kind of vibe about them. Hader says they really miss Toni Kroos. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I think you're onto something. He was having that kind of deeply kind of technical player to kind of thread things together from the middle. You do kind of feel his absence. I think they've replaced Casemiro. I think they've replaced Modric to a certain degree. But yet the Toni Kroos role they perhaps haven't quite nailed down yet. They do need a technical midfielder, and if any are available for free, I'm sure Real Madrid will be interested. Oh God, Mbappe just scored. It just happened so fast. Mbappe definitely does not want Toni Kroos back then, because he heard us talking about Toni Kroos and was like, nah. Durwood says, damn. It happened so fast, didn't it? So it was Modric through to Mbappe. I mean, he did well, to be fair. He kind of skipped past two defenders. I don't want to. Oh God, they're through though. What's this about? They're number 2, and he fluffs it. And then the number 7 fluffs it. Because, I don't know who these players are. They just kind of... Like Mbappe scored, and they're showing the replay 500 times. They're showing Mbappe pointing at whoever assisted him. And then the camera just cut. And Mallorca's right back has a one-on-one with Courtois. How bizarre is that? Endrick fluffs it up. I thought we were going to see two goals there, but let me just update the score. 1-1. Fish says, mate, that's it. Try my one ingredient chocolate cake instead. What's in your one ingredient chocolate cake? Is it chocolate? Is that the one ingredient? Or are you going to turn around and say, no, cake is the ingredient? Because that's the kind of thing you'd say. Like, how do you come out with these random things? I mean, they are vaguely amusing, so I'll give you that. But what? Is this like another thing I should know, but that I don't know? If I Google like one ingredient chocolate cake, I'm Googling this in a private window in case it's like, like a euphemism or something. I don't know what half this stuff means. I don't even know what a Lil Uzi Vert is. Nah, it doesn't seem to be a thing, thankfully. Red Rebellion says, I think the problem at Madrid is Mbappe stole the limelight, and like at PSG, the club will suffer because of it. The likes of Bellingham also have a massive chip on his shoulder. Yeah, I think sometimes you can have too many cooks. You can have kind of too many superstars in one spot. When you've got too many superstars, nobody wants to do the running because everyone thinks they're too important. I think that was like especially a serious concern at the start of the season when Mbappe was borderline useless. He seems to have found his form to a certain degree now, but yeah, I don't think you can have like, I don't think you can necessarily recreate the Galacticos era now. I think you need grafters in there. You need grafters in there who will do the hard work. Leighton says, you think Trent will be at the parade or nah? I think no. What about you? Yeah, he ain't going to be at the parade. I doubt it. They can't... I don't think they can risk a volatile situation. Considering how he got treated last time, where there's cameras everywhere. Like, there's cameras everywhere at the stadium, right? Like, they're not gonna... I think, and again, this is a genuine point. I think it could be quite dangerous for him to be on a bus where people can throw things at him. And it's not just Trent. I think you'd be risking the entire squad. I don't know if I'm perhaps taking too much of a morbid view on this, but I don't think you can. I think they'll sort everything out beforehand, and I don't think it'd be there. Because we don't want them to travel in like the Pope mobile. You know, like have you seen the Pope drives around in a car, but there's bulletproof glass around it? Like, you can't be having that sort of situation. So I don't think it will. Because I think the situation is still quite volatile. The only exception to that is if things change significantly in yeah, as you've kind of said it there, it's in 12 days apparently. I was just going to say, the only kind of exception to that is if things kind of change significantly in the next 2 weeks. But personally, no. I think given the reaction that he got, deservedly so, by the way, given the reaction that he got, and given all the media attention that's kind of been on this, it feels like far too volatile a situation where you're risking not only Trent, I think you're risking the safety of the entire team. So I'd be like, mate, you can stay at home, or you can catch a flight to Madrid. Fish says, mate, that's it. Try my one ingredient mac and cheese instead, step one. So you got one ingredient mac and cheese and you got one ingredient chocolate cake. The things that you talk about are inherently not one ingredient. Because you can't just make a cake with one ingredient. You need butter, you need eggs, you need flour, you need sugar and chocolate. And mac and cheese at the very literally has "and" in the name. So how can it be one ingredient? I know you just say these random things for amusement, but I do try to think about, you know, I do try and take the point seriously. Corner to Real Madrid. Come on, Mallorca, we need you to get a goal. To be honest, I would have taken a draw at the start of this. Appreciate that is a defeatist attitude to a certain degree, but it's Wednesday, I don't care. It's 10 o'clock? How is it bloody 10 o'clock? Oh yeah, because this game started late, didn't it? But anyway, Bellingham. Valverde, corner. Are they going to take it short, or are they going to put a proper corner in? They put a proper corner in. Goes out. Red Rebellion says Madrid want Trent for the Club World Cup. So I think he will be off soon as the last match of the season is done. Apparently Madrid also willing to pay something to let him leave earlier. Well, I have a lot to say about this. Did you see the news that came out today? Okay, let me take a step back. So the news that's been circulating for the entire week is, Real Madrid want to pay a fee to release Trent early from his Liverpool contract. For example, Madrid are potentially going to pay 1 million euros. Madrid are potentially going to pay 800,000 euros, something like that, to release Trent from his contract early. However, the news that came out today is Real Madrid don't want to pay anything, but they still want Liverpool to release him early. Have you seen that? That's the news that came out today. This afternoon, this evening. So now what they're saying is, yeah, we still want Trent to come to us early, but now we don't want to pay anything. So I hope we tell them where they can take that request. They can't honestly be that broke, man. Real Madrid fan in the front there, like on his phone. Because nothing screams him at the Bernabeu like scrolling up and down on your phone. Hader says the audacity. I think that's the perfect way to put it. The audacity. You're already stealing our player, which is audacity point number 1. Audacity point number 2, you want him early. Audacity point number 3, you want him early for free. Like there's no more. There's literally like no more audacity than that. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing else they could do to make it worse. The funny thing about this is I don't think he's the player that they need anyway. So hope you like Birmingham, Trent, for when you end up at Aston Villa in 2 years. There are some lovely homes in Small Heath where you will be most welcome. Corner again. Fish says, I am playing SESW. Star Wars, I presume. Corner by Real Madrid. Mbappe on the left again. Don't be scared of him. That's right. Get a tackle in. Mbappe seems to have come to life in the last 10 minutes. Arda Güler with a awful shot. That's an interesting point. I was thinking about that today, actually. So Trent will need to play right wing back under Alonso, yeah. So Alonso typically plays 5 at the back, 3 at the back, depending on how you want to look at it. I consider it 5 at the back. So 3 kind of centre backs, which Rudiger will be used to from his time at Chelsea. But that would ultimately mean Trent would be a right back, which has added implication, right? So as a right wing back, he's going to be doing lots of running up and down the pitch, which to be fair, he's probably used to. But it would still be a change of position. He's never played right wing back in his life, as far as I recall. Even when Southgate was playing 3 at the back for England, I don't think Trent was in the team back then. So it will be a change for him, playing in a different formation. The other kind of impact of that I was thinking about, where does that leave like Vinicius? Because if you have a right wing back, then you don't need a right winger, because the whole point is you just have the wing back running up and down. So is the Vinicius going to be more central in this system? Which leads on to another point. Where does that then leave Rodrigo? Does he still have a future at Real Madrid? Because by adding one more defender at the back, you You typically take that out from the forward line. Or the midfield, but probably the forward line. Durwood says, oh, Bologna beat Milan for the Coppa Italia. Is that the final? So is Bologna Bologna won a trophy. That's pretty good. If that is the final. Good for them. I always like it when the kind of smaller teams win. Hader says, I hope we face Madrid next season. Me too. I hope it's at Anfield as well. And I hope Trent is playing. Because if we play Madrid at Anfield next season, there will be no excuse not to boo him. I hope he gets booed like crazy. I hope he gets booed every time he breathes. And I hope he can't breathe without just hearing boos coming out of all four stands. And his head will go. Because he doesn't have the mental strength. And I hope whoever we have on the left, whether it's Diaz, whether it's Gakpo, whether it's someone else, I hope they give him a terrible time. And I hope things are so bad for him that he gets subbed off. But yeah, no hard feelings. Yes, final. Ooh. Nice trophy there for Bologna. That Reinders guy that AC Milan have, he's been linked with City as well. That's what Pep does. Pep, best manager ever, Guardiola. Spent 200 million in January. Well, they were all shite. Give me another 200 million now. Luka Modric. I don't like how much space Madrid have got. Nice volley there by Valverde. I always hate it when keepers do this save. When they do this save, because it's like very rarely does the ball ever like go into their arms. Hader says, I hope Sitter get charged. Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, I know it was originally 114 charges, 114, 115, and it keeps going up. But you'd like to think at least a couple of those charges are, have a level of merit towards them that would result in the charge of some sort. Yeah, I think they should get charged, and I hope they get relegated. Hope all their titles are retrospectively removed. And yeah, I think that would, then we can have another parade for all the extra Champions League, for all the extra Premier Leagues that Klopp should have won. This keeper is killing it, says Durwood. He's doing a good job. I mean, he is taking a battering from every single angle. And as I say this, and again, he's made a good save from Bellingham. Ah, come on, man. Did you see that? Bellingham's shot was saved, and Bellingham kicks the side holding thing. Did you see that? Guy needs a smack. Like, why are you kicking the screen on the side? He has developed like a proper little prima donna attitude, hasn't he? Oh God, Mbappe's through. Ooh, cleared off the line. Red Rebellion says, Pep is not even starting his new signings. I think the summer window will be a flop, yeah. Well, there will be they'll be less attractive, I guess, not being the champions, and I think they'll be less attractive with respect to the charges that are around them. They'll be less attractive with respect to. I think they've shown a level of instability this season, which make them less attractive. But yeah, this is the thing with Pep. He'll just spend £200 million worth of players. Wasn't like Mateus Nunes? Wasn't Mateus Nunes on the bench for like 4 years until he finally got a bit of game time? Grealish as well, £100 million player on the bench. That's the Pep thing. Like, I'm not saying Pep's not a good manager, but he always has the players handed to him, whether it's City, whether it's Bayern, or whether it's Barcelona. Put him in charge of a Dortmund. See how far you get with a small budget. I don't think he would. Hader says he's such a diva for real. That is the perfect word for Jude Bellingham. Diva. The way he kicked it as well, like just the look on his face, like, oh my god, I'm so hard. Oh, I'm kicking the thing, man. It's like, oh. He's going like he's getting like a proper little ego. Wow. Madrid have had 20 corners versus Mallorca 0. Okay, so we just need Mallorca just hold on for another 5 minutes. That's pretty insane. Who is this keeper? Leo Roman. I think Leo Roman has done a pretty good job. Bellingham lost the ball there. What's he going to kick now? Is he going to kick the goalpost? No, he's just going to complain a bit and then get up. Valverde. Oh my! Wow, what happened there? I thought that was a goal. Was it Goncalo? He had an open goal and he hit it wide. Is that Garcia? I was convinced that went in. Yeah, this is not meant to be for Madrid, I don't think. So just into 89 minutes. Mallorca with every player behind the ball. Still quite a high line, to be fair, even though they're playing like 5-3-2. Oh god, another good save. Modric. Valverde. Oh God. Corner. This is a resolute performance. Another corner. We must be on like 21 or 22 by now. Modric. Oh God, that was a good corner, but cleared. Garcia. Ooh, Mallorca get the ball back. Come on, counter. Run up the pitch. It's Mariki. Come on, Mariki. Ah, Mariki. I wanted you to go for it, but you cut back. Mallorca. Oh, oh my God, what did he do there? Striker had a clear shot, went near post. Mark Dominic went near post, but went so near post he just hit it wide and hit the side netting. Come on, man. Three minutes left. Valverde, Garcia, Modric again. How is Modric not getting tired? Bellingham's gone down, but I don't think there was anything in that. That looked more like a foul on the Mallorca player. To be honest, it looks more like a coming together. I think both kind of went for the ball and both kind of missed the ball. I mean, Bellingham might get punished for that, but I think they were both going for the ball. Red Rebellion says Frimpong will be the most interesting signing. He does not play as a right back at all, so will be interesting to see what Slot does with him. Yeah, true. More of a kind of right wing back for his club and a right winger for his country. So if he does play for a right back, it'll be it'll be interesting to see how that looks. And it will be interesting to see how the manager kind of shapes him and kind of molds him. I do think he will play right back. I think right back will be competition between Frimpong and Bradley. Frimpong will probably be the starter given we're paying money for him, but you never know. And I think Frimpong can also cover Salah when Salah's away on the AFCON, or maybe it gives Salah an opportunity to come off earlier in games. Oh God, they've scored. How have they scored with 1 minute left? I don't even know who this loser is. Who is this guy? How have they scored with like 30 seconds left? It looks like Screech from Saved by the Bell. Jacobo. Who the hell is Jacobo? Oh, this is a centre back. Come on, there must be some offsides. I want that to be disallowed, but I don't know if that was all that bad. This is probably one of the only games he's played the whole time. Is that Modric? I mean, he's still a bundle of energy at 95 minutes. Damn indeed. Screech from Saved by the Bell. Oh, and now they're gonna blow the full-time whistle. That's some nonsense. That is nonsense. So looking at the table then. So Real Madrid can get a maximum of 84. To be fair, Barcelona just need to win one game in their last 3. If my maths at 10:30 p.m. are correct. Because the maximum Real Madrid can get is 84. But Barcelona are on 82, sorry. So Barcelona just need to win one game. They can celebrate all they want. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Speaking of Barcelona, are they playing tomorrow? I think they're playing tomorrow. So we might have to be back for that one. They are. Espanyol, Barcelona tomorrow. They're showing the whole VAR, no offside. Damn right. Liverpool 1-2-3 knows what he's talking about. Or what she's talking about. Liverpool are winning the treble next year, bro. I like the attitude. I like the confidence. I like the thinking in that. Are we saying Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup? Is that the third one? The traditional treble? We don't want no Arsenal treble like Community Shield, Carabao Cup, and I don't know, mug from the kitchen. But yeah, proper treble. Let's go. If we sign the players that we're kind of linked with, I think that's a step in the right direction. Frimpong, let's go. Florian Wirtz, if it happens, let's go. Milos Kerkez, let's go. I don't think we'll get Isak, but a striker, let's go. And a defensive midfielder, a cover for Gravenberch, let's go. Liverpool 1-2-3 says, yes, the traditional treble. I think Man City are going to go through a bad period. And we will take advantage, especially with Van Dijk and Salah in the final years. I think you're right. I think Van Dijk and Salah will be rejuvenated with the new contracts. They'll be motivated. There'll be no distractions. And I think they'll want to prove something as well. Because I think this will be kind of their last... Not their last season, but perhaps their last big contract, and perhaps their last chance to win big trophies as the main stars, if you know what I mean. So I think Van Dijk and Salah will be rejuvenated. I don't think Man City are just a few signings away from being back to where they were. So I agree with you there as well. Because Man City spent 200 million in January. They didn't look much better. I think there's more going on in that club in the background that not everyone knows of. So I think Man City are going to perhaps struggle to a certain degree as well this next season. So I think the league's there to be taken. And I think the next point you made as well. I'm not afraid of Arsenal. They'll always fail away. Yeah, that's the thing. If Liverpool get 84 points, Arsenal will get 83 max. If Liverpool get 50 points, Arsenal will get 49 max. If Liverpool finish 17th, Arsenal will get relegated. It's just they're just always one step behind. I think their main issue above everything else is their manager is trash. He's a clown. He is an idiot. He's tactically inept. He doesn't even have a good personality. Like, I despise Man United. I despise everything about them. But I can at least say Ruben Amorim seems to come across as a genuine good person with somewhat of a personality. You can't say that about Arteta. And like, if you got that guy leading you, no wonder the players' mentality goes. Because who wants to play for a clown like that? Red Rebellion says, I think Liverpool 1-2-3 is right. That is why this will be one of our biggest windows yet. Yeah, I think that will be another reason as to why it will be one of the biggest windows. Yeah, I think the opportunity is there to, at the very least, to win another Premier League and to potentially go further in the European competition as well. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Liverpool topped the Champions League group. It was like six months ago. So the opportunity is there with the right signings. I do think the leadership structure as well, with respect to Edwards and Hughes, are going to want to put their own stamp on the team. And I think that's why we'll see players like Darwin going and then bringing in their own players. Hader says, F Teta indeed. I can't stand the guy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his haircut. I don't know if it's his facial expression. I don't know if it's the things he say, but I just find the guy proper annoying. I would just find the guy super, super annoying. Abiliosis says, yo, it's me. Are you going to tell us Slot is fired again like the last time? I'm on 99 subs, says Abiliosis. It would mean the world if you were my 100 sub. You know what? Since it would mean the world to you, well, I have to search for you. Will you come up on my thing? There you go. Now you have 100. Well done. Clean volleys in football. There you go. You got 100 now. But anyway, as we were saying, F Teta. Yeah, can't stand the bloke. His takes on football are horrendous. His takes on fashion are horrendous. His takes on life are horrendous. I don't know if you people have seen the whole light bulb thing. He's not even my manager, but I cringe. I cringe whenever I think about that little light bulb thing that he did. So yeah. VDS says, oh my god, no way. Thanks so much. Actual great guy. That's alright. No problem. All good. All good, man. Wish you the best in life. I wish you the best in life also. Red Rebellion says, we are back on our perch with our 20th title. Now leave United even further behind and also leave the rest of our teams out of our reach as well. Yeah, I think there is opportunity to kind of widen the gap. I've never kind of really thought about it that way, but now that kind of a couple of you guys are mentioning it, it kind of makes sense. We need to. I think part of the issue is last time we won the league, we were in a position of strength, but we didn't really strengthen when we were on top, if you know what I mean. We kind of sat back, we let the others catch up. Hopefully we don't make that mistake again. Hopefully we just further our lead, we create an even bigger gap. And when we create an even bigger gap and we win the league by even more points next season, people will say, it's because the league's not good. But we'll say no, it's because we strengthened. You didn't. You spent 300 million on trash and rubbish, whereas we spent 100 million net on proper players. Zin says Bernardo Silva. I've never thought about that. Maybe I look like Bernardo Silva, like chubbier cheeks. Maybe if I lose about maybe if I lose 10, 20 kilograms, then maybe maybe it's the beard. Zin says, bro, what do you think about Trent to Real Madrid? It depends. Are you a Real Madrid fan or are you a Liverpool fan? Because then that will attune my answer. But if you want my honest answer, actually, yeah, from what perspective? Like from a Liverpool perspective, I think he's a rat. I think he's a scumbag. I think he's treated the club like dirt. I think he's greedy. I think he's engineered a move to get himself as big a signing on fee as he can. So those are kind of some of my feelings with respect to Trent and Liverpool. With respect to Trent and Madrid, it might work to a certain degree because I think if they get Alonso, he'll have extra protection at the back. But I think from a physical perspective, he's the right player for you if you're a Madrid fan. From a mental perspective, I don't think so. I think mentally he's quite weak. I don't think he has the mindset to kind of deal with criticism. So I think he might struggle there. And if you want my honest opinion, I think Danny Carvajal will kind of come back into the team once the kind of Trent, once the Trent novelty factor has worn off. I think Carvajal will come back in the team. You'll see a lot of Trent doing this on the bench with his arms folded, and then I think you'll probably sell him to Aston Villa. But when you sell him, to Aston Villa, you'll get a bunch of money. So I think that's the most ironic thing out of all of this. Real Madrid will get money for him that Liverpool didn't, because Real Madrid will sell him. Real Madrid won't wait for his contract to run out. Haider says, Inshallah, I want to see the Champions League next season too. Yeah, let's do it. I know a lot of people were disappointed not to get the Champions League this season. From my perspective, like I'm happy enough just with the Premier League this season. But with respect to next season, we want to see that trophy with the big ears again. Like, I probably look a bit like a Champions League trophy as well, I just noticed. But in addition to Bernardo Silva. Really want to see another Champions League. In a weird way, I don't know if it's a bit crazy. In a weird way, like I prefer winning the Champions League. I know Liverpool got like a thing for the Premier League, but like Champions League, you have like, you got the quarter final and you're all excited. You're watching it at night, and then you're watching the semi-final. You're excited, and this final, you know what I mean. And then there's a reward at the end. Whereas I don't know. I just find the competition more exciting. I understand why at Liverpool there was more of a need and a desire to win the Premier League. I get it, but I just find the Champions League more exciting. I don't know. It's just the format of the competition. Yeah, Haider says it hurts still. It does. I think because it's kind of fresh in the mind, it's kind of raw. But I think once the I think from certain events you only move on once a replacement comes in. So I think once Trent goes and we have the parade, we have like Virgil lifting the trophy, we have Frimpong come in. I think by then things will mend. We won't ever wish Trent well. Like even when I see Steve McManaman now, whenever I see Steve McManaman, first thing I think is scumbag. He left on a free. So that feeling will never go. But we will kind of stop caring, which happens with time. Colin Mensah says, Hala Madrid, I presume. Good win for you there, 2-1. Scored a goal in the last second, but it is what it is. 66 will have the diva to protect him. He will. I got a theory though. I got a theory that eventually the diva's gonna get sick of him as well. That's my that's my theory. Like eventually the diva is gonna feel like 66 is cramping his style. That's my theory on this. Eventually he's gonna get sick of him. Because that's the thing, like when you're young, you think, yeah, we'll hang out every day, we'll be fine. But then when you actually hang out every day, you're like, oh my god, this person's so annoying. So I think there'll be a breakup. I think there'll be a public breakup between the two. Yeah, that's a good fact as well. Hader said he will just be another player. He'll just be another player in a sea of players, and also there'll be no one there to defend him. Liverpool players always have his back. Liverpool fans always have his back. And not just from a Liverpool perspective, also from an England perspective. Whenever England fans say Trent can't defend, like it's always Liverpool fans to defend him. He ain't going to have that anymore. So I don't know how he's going to cope. Zin says, honestly for me, Trent is lacking in defence. He's good in attack and has good passing. Yep, you've pretty much nailed it there, Zin. Those are perhaps technical attributes. So he's good in defense, he's good in attack, he's good passing. Physically, I think he's quite good as well. He's quite strong, he's quite fast. So I'd say technically he's good. Physically, he's good. Mentally, he's perhaps not the strongest. So he does go to sleep. He does go to sleep on the pitch. He does lose concentration sometimes. So it will be interesting to see how he deals with that. Abiliosis says, dang. I just finished a 5-minute crying out session of joy. Well, it's sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Treble next year. Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. Champions League hits different. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like for me personally, it does. I appreciate for the club, they've had like a whole thing about the Premier League because it's been so long. But like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a case of you just come home from work and then you watch it at night and you're all excited and it feels like there's a lot more on the line for the Champions League because it's just one game. So that makes it feel, to me, it makes it feel more exciting. But I also understand what Red Rebellion is saying. So Premier League first, rest comes afterwards. Knockout competitions is either your day or not. Yeah, I hear you. And I think that danger element makes it a bit more exciting. I'm probably revealing some personality traits here that I probably shouldn't. But I think that element of danger and that element of uncertainty, it makes for an interesting competition. But yeah, we don't need to choose because we're going to win both of them next year, so it doesn't matter. All good either way. Yeah, I think if we can get the to be honest, even if we don't get an FA Cup, I think if you get a Premier League and a Champions League, I think that would be amazing. Abiliosis says, is it chill if I use a clip of you saying that you will give me my 100 sub and I mentioned you? Yeah, of course, no problem. All good, man. All good. Zin says Liverpool are eyeing Frimpong from Leverkusen. He's one of the fastest right back right now. You are correct about that, Zin. Liverpool are eyeing Frimpong. There's been a lot of news about that recently. There's been even more news about that today that it looks like terms might have been agreed. I'm really excited about Frimpong. If we get Frimpong, I'll be super happy. I think physically he's very good. He's very fast, as you've said there. Very good passer, very aggressive, full of energy. But also from a financial perspective, he's on low wages. He's going to have a relatively modest transfer fee of about £30 million. It ticks all the boxes. He's Dutch, so he'll get on with our Dutch manager. He'll get on with our Dutch staff. Sipke Hulshoff is Dutch. Ruben Peters is Dutch. Van Dijk is Dutch. Gakpo is Dutch. Gravenberch is Dutch. Arne Slot is Dutch. I can't believe I forgot Arne Slot, but he's Dutch. So he'd fit in. He'd fit in quite nicely. So yeah, if we get him, I'll be happy. I will be happy. Come what may, we support the best club in the world. I'm with you with there. I'm with you there. That's a good way. That's a good way of thinking about it. Things could be worse. We could support Arsenal. Imagine that. Yeah, I'm 100% with you there, Ryan. We need an attacking right back. I'm like so with you on that. I couldn't be more with you on that. There's this obsession that I see online where people say, "Oh, Trent couldn't defend, therefore we should get a more defensive right back." Like, no. Like, we have the ball like 90% of the time. 95% of times are going to be 95% of opposition are going to be weaker than us. We don't need an extra defender back there. Like, we need somebody who can, pass the ball. We need someone who can go forward. We need that, man. I'd even argue that fullback is actually an attacking position these days. It's not a defensive position, but I'm getting maybe a bit controversial. But yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think the second point that Ryan's also mentioned is also important, that it's a lot easier to kind of teach defending. This is something that I think Klopp said. It's a lot easier to teach a player to defend than it is to teach a player to attack. So yeah, Frimpong is the one for me. Everything just seems to fit. Oh, also homegrown. I don't know if I mentioned that. Also counts as homegrown. So everything just seems to fit together a bit too perfectly. Abiliosis says thanks. That's okay. No problem. Abiliosis also says, who do you think has the caliber to replace Van Dijk as he ages? It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to replace Van Dijk. I mean, he's a once in a generation defender, but I guess the question that you're asking between the lines is, who's the Van Dijk of the next generation? Possibly Howson, possibly Dean Howson. Dean Howson looks like he's got all the fundamentals. But it's tough to say because there are so many variables. Like, who are the people around Howson? Has he got like good people around him? Has he got a good family around him? Has he got good friends around him? Or has he got like has he got an entourage of like crazy people? Because like, even if you're like a good young player, your career can go in any direction. But I think Howson looks pretty good. I don't know if we'd get him, but he looks quite good. Other than Howson, nobody really springs to mind. But I'm hoping our kind of scouting and data departments have identified somebody. Zin says maybe Kyle Walker 2.0 version 2. In some ways, yes. Hopefully with the adultery and public urination, less so. But with respect to kind of the pace and the technical ability, then yeah. Abiliosis says it's kind of random, but you are the only streamer that says my name correct. I'm glad to hear. I wonder what other people says. People probably say Abil Oasis, right, or something. But I'm like, no, it says Abiliosis. Trent's lobbed pass against Spurs will always stay in my mind. Trent falling asleep to let Vinicius score in the Champions League final will always stay in my mind. To be honest, it does. But he had some good moments too. Can't forget the corner. Red Rebellion says Kirkers down the left, Frimpong down the right. You kind of like, that's like having like a rocket launcher down the right and a rocket launcher down the left, and like, I don't know. They're just like standing there waving the white flag. Imagine that. We are gonna like batter teams down the right and down the left. It's scary to think about that, It's like an all-out attack, and I'm all for it. Let's go. A Red Rebellion says that's why we want Howson. Yeah, that's why we're linked with him. I'd be excited to get him. I know Real Madrid are linked with him, but they're linked with everyone. But I'd be excited to get Howson. I think he's got all the fundamentals for such a young player. He has a level of assurance above his age. And you don't always see that. Abiliosis says next captain. Well, it's not going to be Trent now. It's not going to be It's probably not going to be Salah because Salah and Van Dijk might leave at similar time. Probably not going to be Robertson. Robertson will probably leave just before that. It could be one of the midfielders, you know. Possibly McAllister. Possibly Szoboszlai. One of those two maybe. Possibly Kanate. It could have been Alisson, but I think Alisson will go as part of this generation. I think McAllister or Szoboszlai are possibly good options there. And I think that's a good point that Ryan also mentioned. Ryan does mention good points quite often, to be fair. It's so tough because one injury can just kill a career. Yeah, that's another point. That you can look like a world beater, but like at 19 you can look like a world beater at 20, but one bad knee injury, one bad ACL, it can turn things on their head. We need someone that has the presence and leadership that Van Dijk has even until now. Yeah, we do. I think a lot of these players, they develop that as they kind of get older and as they get senior. So I think it's about perhaps identifying someone who can grow into that role as they get older, I think. Because I don't think anybody has it now. Like, you remember when you saw Jordan Henderson when he was 18 with like terrible teeth and curly hair? You never would have thought he would grow into a leader, but he had the fundamentals. I remember Gerrard saying he's got a good head on his shoulders, this Jordan Henderson guy. He's a good family man. And I think those are some of the skills that you perhaps look for. So who fits that role? Probably like a McAllister or perhaps a Szoboszlai even. Abiliosis, pronounced correctly, says, all I know is that we need to carry on buying younger players to replace some people. Nah, that's what you want to do. Ideally bringing the younger players whilst the senior players are still there, so that the younger players can learn from the senior players, and then the senior players can slowly kind of move on, and then the younger players step up. Just need a decent striker now too. Yeah, that's going to be a position we're going to have to keep an eye on. And I think during the summer when there's no games, we might have to do some streams on just the transfer news and that sort of thing. Then we can perhaps look at kind of who the options are, that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't think we'll get Isak. I don't think we'll get Alvarez. We don't shop in that market. As I've said before, Isak and Alvarez, they are Waitrose, and we shop at Tesco. We don't shop at Aldi. I shop at Aldi, but Liverpool don't shop at Aldi. So I think those strikers will be a bit too expensive for us. But someone in the £60 million price range will be good. Red Rebellion says McAllister could be a future captain. Yeah, I can definitely see it. Even the things that he says now, and even the interviews that he says now, he comes across very well. Something I've noticed. He does. Szoboszlai seems a bit more introverted. Not that that's necessarily a problem, but McAllister comes across as a bit more of a leader. Epic Footy Edits says hi. Hello, Epic Footy Edits. How you doing? Not Trent is crazy. Yeah, I think because he's leaving now, so he's not really going to be an option for the captaincy. If he had stayed, I still wouldn't necessarily be convinced, if I'm honest. I mean, it doesn't feel like a captain to me. McAllister, yeah, I just said there, Maka ain't a bad shout. He seems like the one, but you never know. Jonathan David is leaving Lille. Is he going to Real Madrid? Because it seems like everyone is. Or is he going to the Premier League? Ryan said, just look at Torres, a monster for Liverpool. One injury at Chelsea, god awful after that. Yeah. It only takes one injury to kind of take your pace away. And if pace is your main attribute, you're going to struggle. I mean, look at Michael Owen. Michael Owen was absolutely rapid as an 18-year-old, was a world beater as an 18-year-old, won the Ballon d'Or as an 18-year-old at Liverpool. Couple of bad injuries. Once the pace is gone, it's things become a lot harder. Hader says, thoughts on Konate not renewing his contract? Yeah, I mean, well, my thoughts are kind of into buckets, into brackets. Like, on the one hand, I'm like, you know what? If he doesn't want to renew his contract, we cannot sit through this whole contract saga again next year. So if he doesn't want to renew his contract now, just sell him this year, get someone else in, move on, get that new person in on a 5-year contract, move on, and go from there. Because we cannot risk losing another £70 million player on a free. On the flip side, apparently he's asking for like 200 grand a week. He's currently on 70. And apparently he is asking for 200 grand a week. At first I was like, that's crazy. That's like tripling his salary. Why would we do that? But apparently Saliba is on 190. And apparently 200 is just the going rate. So it ultimately depends on how much he's asking money-wise. I think if he's asking for 200 grand a week, that would probably be the absolute upper end that we'd probably be willing to go, but you'd probably give it. But if you can get him for a bit less than that, like 180, 190, then just do it. Because the flip side is there's not going to be many other centre-backs at Konate's level. I appreciate Konate is not the best thing ever, but I still think he's quite good. He's still embedded into the team. He still had a year with the new manager rather than having like a learning curve that you'd get with a new player, if you know what I mean. He already knows how to play ahead of Alisson. He already knows how to play next to Van Dijk. So there's advantages to keeping him. And my chair's on wheels and I keep rolling backwards. It's a bit annoying. But yeah, ultimately to answer your question, Hader, it depends how much money he's asking for. 200 grand a week would probably be the absolute max. Any more than that, maybe look at selling and getting someone else. Abiliosis says, how is Chiesa not getting game time? He's great, but not being used correctly. I don't know, man. I was saying, I think he's got secret pictures of Slot with hair or something. Like he must have some sort of dirt on Slot. I don't know what's going on. The whole saga is utterly perplexing. Why am I sounding so posh? Utterly perplexing, but it is. But even now, like the league's won, he's not getting into the starting lineup, and he's also not getting onto the bench. I don't know. If you put a gun to my head, Abiliosis, if you put a gun to my head and you said, look, I put a gun to the head of everyone who's my 100th follower, and tell me why Chiesa is not playing, I would say, I think he's got a clause in his contract that if he starts X games, we have to pay Juventus an extra 10 million. And I think we're currently at X minus 1. So I think if he makes another appearance, we've got to pay money. It's probably something like that. Durwood says, Premier League is in Jonathan David's future. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Players come and go. Konate is a very good player, but can be replaced. Yeah, he can be replaced. There are better options out there. I see both sides of the argument. Konate, I'd probably give like an 8 out of 10. Like 8 out of 10. I think that's a good score, and I think that's a fair score. There are 9 out of 10s out there, but there's also 7s and 6s. So I think if we can get this 8 out of 10, for the right money, let's do it. The inflation is real. The inflation is real on absolutely everything. I was doing my online shopping yesterday, and I was being lazy, and I just said, add everything to basket that I bought last time, and it cost like an extra £20. And I'm like, what's going on? So inflation is real in our terms and also in football terms. But yeah, Konate, I mean, apparently he's asking for 200 grand a week. If we can negotiate him down a bit, let's do it. But if we can't, I wouldn't mind. Again, what I say in reality has no importance. But I wouldn't mind paying him 200 grand. But if it's more than that, I'd be a bit concerned. A British side says a Bristol City FC here. It's good to have you here. How you doing? Bristol has the nicest train station I've ever been to. I don't know if that's I don't know if anyone's been to Bristol train station, but it's very nice. But yeah, how you doing? Hope you're good. Abeliosis says, didn't you go on holiday or something lately? How was it? I did. Nice memory. I went to Prague. It's in Czech Republic, which is also where Patrick Berger's from, who we were talking about earlier. It was nice. Very nice country. Really nice views. I went for 3 days. I enjoyed it. It was good. I'd recommend it. Hotel was nice as well, and it wasn't expensive, which is one of the benefits with kind of that side of Europe. It's cheaper, but they got nice views. Durwood says, I'm watching the replay from the Ajax game. Hendo got hit hard, especially for his advanced age. Oh, got hit like in a tackle, or like. Whenever you say hit hard, I keep thinking about the Awani situation where he crashed into the post. But yeah, I hope he's all right. Abiliosis says, I don't have a gun because I live in Britain. Me too. Ooh, Nathan Walters says, Frimpong deal done on Sunday. Well, that would be a nice little Sunday gift if it's done by then. Is that when the Brighton game? No, Brighton game is Monday, isn't it? But yeah. Each day that passes, with respect to the Frimpong news, it feels like it's kind of getting closer and closer, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, if it's done Sunday, great. If it's done before that, even better. But yeah, if we can get one over the line, it might even be good from the whole Trent situation. Like if the fans have confidence and the fans have belief that another right back is coming in, it might make them lighten up. Not lighten up, that's the wrong terminology, but it might reduce the volatile nature of the reaction that Trent's getting. You know what I mean? Like if Liverpool fans know we're getting another right back, they will then perhaps not throw things at Trent during the parade. So that could be another reason why the right back deal for Frimpong is being pushed through. Abeliosis says, wait, I meant to put a laughing emoji, not a crying, to confirm I do not want a GHN, a GUN, I'm innocent, chat. Well, you did say it, so we don't know if you're actually innocent. 170 or 180 grand ain't deep though. He will accept. I hope so. I think that's a good wage. I think it's a good wage. And it more than doubles his wages. So his wages are 70. So to go up to 180, it's 150% extra. Good to hear. Yeah, it was nice. I'd recommend Czech Republic. Would not have made a difference to our season even if Chiesa was not there. Could be he's not physically up to the standard for the Premier League. Slaughter's not kept his fitness issues a secret. Yeah, it could be that. It could just not be a conspiracy and be a very simple reason that he's just not fit enough. He's just not quick enough. He's just not alert enough. It could just be that, you know. It could just be the simple reason. We're all looking for conspiracies and money laundering, and it could just be he's just not fit enough. Kind of late, but what did you hear about the Mateta incident, FA Cup? Is that the thing with the ear? Yeah, it's pretty nasty, wasn't it? I think when we were doing a Crystal Palace watch-along, he was wearing like an earpiece. And I was like, is he a wrestler? And I think that's when Durwood corrected me and said, no, he was in a serious collision with the goalkeeper. Keita was a player who hardly made it onto the pitch. Plus, he had major attitude problems. Yeah, I think with Keita, perhaps the additional kind of bit there is he did legitimately keep getting injured. He kept getting injured in training. I think he got injured once when he got on the bus. Whereas with respect to Chiesa, as far as we're aware, the guy is like available for selection, but he's just not being selected. So that makes the whole thing a bit it makes the whole thing a bit peculiar. Yeah, so who knows? Who knows what the situation is with Chiesa? I hope some sort of news comes out in the summer, just out of curiosity. Some article somewhere. And we find out what the problem was. Yeah. Yeah, it's the ear thing. Chiesa is now that Arthur Melo. Oh God, I'd forgotten about that guy. I'd forgotten about Arthur Melo, but we do have a tendency to sometimes sign players and then not play them for whatever reason. Yeah. I wonder who played more games. I think Chiesa has played more games than Arthur Melo, but yeah, it's probably a pretty good comparison. Not a comparison he'd want, but probably an accurate one. Bastoni at LFC is just stuck in my head. Yeah, he'd be good. He's probably out of our price range. And given we've just been talking about an Italian who hasn't adjusted, we probably don't want to risk another Italian. But and I think also the other thing with Bastoni is he does play in a back three. I'm not sure that would translate too well to how we play with a back two, but it is what it is. Bilios says Hader has a point. He does. He has many good points. Many good points. Abiliosis says, Curtis, most underrated LFC player, don't want to hear any debate. Yeah, he's good. He's good. I don't think he's necessarily a 10 out of 10 at anything. He's perhaps a consistent 7 out of 10 at most things. So, and I think you need those players. You need those players around the squad. So yeah, I'm glad he's around. He can start some games here and there, come off the bench. So yeah, all good. Anyway, it's well past my bedtime. I've still left the timer on. But anyway, I better go now because, as you can tell, my eyes keep closing, which is probably not a good sign. But anyway, be back tomorrow for the Barcelona game, where hopefully Barcelona win the. See, I was gonna say Premier League, which you can tell it's probably getting a bit late for me. But Barcelona will probably win La Liga tomorrow. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. Espanyol versus Barcelona tomorrow, which I need to create thumbnails for on YouTube. So I'll do that maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, Espanyol, Barcelona tomorrow, and then I think Man United, Chelsea on Friday. But yeah, you two Abiliosis, hope you have a good night. Yeah, with you on that Red Rebellion. Curtis will step up even when he knows he isn't first choice. Yeah, good attitude. I think good attitude as well is important. And yeah, good night to you too, Durwood. Even though it's probably about 6 p.m. where you are. But I hope you have a nice evening. And yeah. Yeah, cheers all. Cheers, Red Rebellion. Thank you as always. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow if you're around. But yeah. Otherwise, see you when I see you. Cool. I'm going to go because I'm not making sense now. But yeah, I'll be back.